Hello everyone, welcome to something a little bit different today. It is going to be my first shot at casting some Hearthstone. I'm really excited for it. I've got two very good friends of mine who are going to be playing off in some 3-hero conquest. We're going to cast some games, see how they do, and hopefully we'll get a couple of rippers. So first up, I'm actually going to have a chat to people. They both know the decks that each other are on. So we're just going to have a quick chat with Mr. Glenn, if he picks up. Oh my. Glenn, you there? Oh no.
Hello.
Ah, there you are. How you doing, dude?
Hey, how you going?
Very, very good. So, you're up against Julian here. You are aware that he's on the Shaman Warlock Rogue. What are you expecting, dude?
Probably Odd Rogue. So it's been a while since I played Shadowwalk Shaman.
Yeah?
And Warlock. Probably. It's hard. I mean, it's hard. It could be Oddlock. Yeah, Oddlock Handlock.
Yeah,
I think is a very popular meta deck.
Absolutely, very powerful ladder deck. What's kind of your thoughts? Are there any matchups that you're going to try and get?
Maybe I want to. I'm kind of secretly hoping for my Odd Hunter to face his Shadowwalk deck first.
Okay.
Just because I think I can probably power through the damage before he can get a combo off.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know. My rogue deck is very. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work because I haven't played it before. But
Okay.
I just wanted to see if the cards will work.
So you bring the spice with the rogue.
Yeah, maybe the mirror with rogue would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe not. Actually, yeah. Actually, that's probably the worst matchup, given what my rogue deck is trying to do.
Okay.
The mirror.
All right, sure. So that's definitely a matchup that we'll try and keep an eye on. What we'll do is I'll go over to Julian, have a couple of words with him, and then we'll get you all playing. Okay?
No worries. Excited to play.
Excellent. All right, we'll have a chat with his opponent, Julian. How you doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Feeling ready for the match.
Ready for some beatdowns?
Yeah, one of us will be reading down. Might not be me.
Excellent, excellent. So, your opponent's on Priest Hunter Rogue. What are you expecting?
Not entirely sure. I've played against a lot of Hunter and had some pretty bad experience with regards to the win rate against any variety of it. So Hunter, I'm a bit worried about.
Okay.
Rogue, not so much. I played a lot of Rogue myself. Pretty prepared for it.
You think you're pretty confident in the mirror?
Yeah. I have a pretty good win rate in various Rogue mirrors. And I guess Priest could be anything really. Could be the Quest Priest, could be Combo Priest.
Could be Mind Blast. There's plenty of great Priest options out there.
Yeah, the Mind Blast Priest. Yeah, the Mind Blast Priest has been giving me a bit of grief, but the other archetypes I haven't seen very much, so I don't have enough experience to really give a good call on it.
Okay. You think you're pretty adept at spotting out which archetype it can be? Some of these decks, Priest Druid, there's a lot of variance in them. You reckon you can spot it pretty early?
On the contrary, no.
No.
I've had a lot of games where on turn 4 or 5, I'm like, oh yeah, this person's playing this sort of priest. This is my game plan, and all of a sudden it's like Mind Blast. It's like, oh,
yep,
of course.
We've all had those games where we figure our opponents shadow visioning for more inner fires and divine spirits, and all of a sudden we get Alex Strazed and Mind Blasted out of nowhere. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's happened to me a lot.
Excellent. So thanks for your words. I'll probably touch base with you between the games, but we'll get you playing.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, you issue the challenge to Glenn, and then you pass me the spectator. Okay.
All right, got it.
All right. All right. There you go, friends. Bit of an insight into what these two players are going to be trying to do. Julian, I think, has been a bit more on top of laddering and everything in the last while. Glenn admits himself he hasn't played this last little patch, so the Caverns of Time patch following the various nerfs to things like Call to Arms and stuff like that. So we'll see if he is on point, if he can do some damage to Julian. Some interesting matchups here, particularly as they mentioned that Rogue Mirror, and Glenn not bringing the not bring the same type of rogue, actually bring something spicy, so we could be in for a really interesting match. Let's get these guys playing. Alright, we are jumping into the first game here. And it is the Rogue Mirror. Oh my gosh, how exciting.
None can escape my fury.
Alright.
I am the Iron
We are
Hand
behind the
of justice.
eyes of the player in the bottom. With the Rogue, it is Julian.
None will
We get some hype in the chat for Julian. Bring the Odd Rogue. And at the top, also in the Rogue coloured boots, it is Revelation. It's Glenn. So, hallucination early for Glenn. We could be looking at some kind of Steel Rogue. A lot of the very typical odd Rogue pieces coming from Julian. Be interesting to see if he goes here for the hero power or in fact the double one drop. Emerald Reaver being slightly new tech for Rogue. Getting the damage in. As opposed to a card like Akira's Veteran that requires you to have a board. Emerald Reaver a bit more proactive. Let's see if we can get Glenn's hand. Very aggressive start here. Ooh, the deadly poison to get down the vicious fledgling. It's a great move, and the backstab. Just trying to stem the bleeding right now. Ooh. Huge Van Cleef as well. Julian not exactly prepared for it, no saps. Can't run those in Odd Rogue. Vile Spine, not here. I think that's probably something that Glenn would have been very scared of, Coin Vile Spine. And Cold Blood. Double Cold Blood. As we were talking about before, we asked Julian if he was ready for some beatdowns, and he's showing us what beatdown looks like, and that's a 9-power Diamond. How's Glenn going to react? We're going to trade in this this Van Cleef? No, we have an Eviscerate. A tool that Odd Rogue does not have access to, Glenn has in his pocket. And this is getting really rough. This is not the situation where you want to be having your Fungal Mancers and your SI7s. Lee Valentine's now falling. Thanks, Lee. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're enjoying things. We're right in the middle of a Rogue Mirror. We've got Julian in the bottom with the Odd Rogue. A very awkward hand here. Facing down a 10-power Van Cleef. He just has to push through 10 more damage though. And he's hitting for 2 on each attack.
This guy's toast.
Not saving the SI7 for direct damage. That could cost him. That could cost him dearly. But is he just trying to delay the game here against this 10-power Van Cleef? No, the Vile Spine comes down. Big damage. Oh my gosh, but it's Leroy off the top. Ruining the party. Time's up, guys. Let's do this. Leroy in for the win. Wow, that was quick. Very, very quick, but Leroy gets the job done. Alright. We'll get them to hold up there. And we'll actually jump in. We'll have a chat with Julian. So I want to get his thoughts behind that, particularly that late game there with the SI7s. Leroy off the top for the win. Julian, how you feeling?
I felt pretty good. As soon as he played the first Edwin Van Cleef, I was like, I'm probably losing this game unless I, draw some sort of damage. I had the SI agent in hand, and then drew the second one, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play this, hope he hits it. And then so he can't kill me next turn with his own Leroy if he decides to trade.
Of
and
course.
then just hope that I rip a Leroy. And yeah, kind of worked out.
Yeah, it did work out.
Played
I was
into my
thinking
own
there
way out.
that you may have tried to hold on to the SI7s to get some direct damage in there, given that...
No, it wouldn't change my clock.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right with the potential of an opposing Leroy coming out there. You know, you could have been dead pretty quickly and lost your chance. So it's a great game, even though we've all been
I had
killed
one
by.
out. Literally had one out.
Was that the only out? You dirty,
Yeah, it
dirty
was the only
dog.
card that could deal the 6 damage. When I double cold-blooded my my Diamol,
Mhm.
that was me going, I have to be aggressive and hope to draw Leroy at some stage.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking about beatdowns before, and you certainly administered one. So we're gonna go.
Yep.
We're gonna go into the second match, and hopefully we can get a hand cam on both of y'all.
Alright, cool,
Alright.
thank you.
No worries. All right, there we go, friends. So Julian has already won with his rogue, so we'll jump into the second game. We have at the top, player with the lead in the Shaman pants. It's Julian with the even Shaman here. It's going to be interesting to see what Glenn does against that in the bottom, in the Hunter. The Odd Hunter. No, even Odd Hunter? Odd Hunter. With the upgraded hero power.
To my side.
Misha is going to stem the bleeding here a little bit. But this Direwolf and Flame Tongue Totem combo means that every totem that comes out, every little token, is going to be a big, big boy. Interesting to see if he wants to trade off the Direwolf Alpha here.
What to do?
He does go for a trade. Totem on the wrong side.
It's time for a little blood.
But an Armani on the other side as well. Not letting up with his pressure. Now Unleash the Hounds with Hunter's Mark. Can help take down some of these boards. Some of this board. Does leave the Armani out, and the Armani can trade into here, become enraged. Does become 5 power when damaged. Fire Plume Phoenix. The Automaton. So this is the... does that make it unenraged? I believe it does, yeah.
Hey, speak to me. Job done.
Awkward there. This deadly shot as well is going to be very hard to hit with all these totems lying around. This is definitely one of the big strengths of the Odd Shaman, that even though we've gotten to this stage in the game, there's still plenty of gas left in the tank for the Shaman.
Job's done.
Definitely would not be surprised to see cards like Lich King, Calamos. Any number of cards like that. Many of these lists just have a real chunky late game. And I don't think that's something that Glenn at the bottom here in the Hunter can deal with. It would require something like this Automaton staying on board and him getting a full turn to hero power, Pixie hero power. No mercy though. I would say that's going to be it.
What fools these
Just going for the pixie there. And I would say that this is going to be the end. No tapping out though. Alright. That is a victory for the Shaman of Julian. Alright. Well, swap this here. Oh, look at that. There you go. Alright, we'll be back with the next game. Alright. We are here. Whoa. In the top, in the Warlock coloured shorts, we have Mr. Julian. Looking to close out this game, 3-0. And he's got a strong deck to do it with, the Even Warlock. He's up against, in the bottom, yet to put a win on the board, in the Priest coloured shorts. It's Glenn. Glenn with the Quest Priest.
I must consider.
A strong deck. Very interesting ladder deck. Lots of control pieces. Very good at fatiguing the opponent out, and he's got the big fatigue tool in hand, which is Archbishop Benedictus. I was very confused out as to how someone had 1 out of 1 among them. Gosh. Alright, here we go. So, we're jumping right into the middle of this game. We've got 3 out of 7 on the Priest Quest. And a very, looks like we're already at turn 7. And the Benedictus is out. So, fatigue, definitely going to be a really big deal for Julian here. He does have Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which is one of the best cards to lay down early if you think the game is going to go to fatigue. Hopefully put some pressure on that life total. Lich King out here as well. Does demand an answer, but up the top, Glenn does have the Shadow Word Death. But the Frostmourne off the Lich King, a big pickup here.
My hand is too full.
Doesn't need that defile. This Frostmourne could be a big value play over the coming turns. And that's something that Julian definitely wants to do. Wants to make sure that he has plenty of resources over the coming turns. Ooh, the Infernal. Now, one thing that is interesting is if Glenn is running the Death Knight, the Priest Death Knight. That would be something you'd like to hit sooner rather than later. He also presumably missed the Blood Reaver Gul'dan off the Benedictus shuffle, so does not have access to that card. The Infernal combining with the Spellstone here for an upgrade. Shadow Vision's out the Twilight Call. So Twilight Call is going to bring back some Death Rattle minions. It's going to finish off this this quest, and also once again just give Glenn a whole bunch more resources. That's what this match is about. Resources and time. Electing to not trade face damage for this Bone Drake. Get the Bone Drake under the Frostmourne. Oh my. 10 is very low. Very, very low. This might be the turn where he has to go for the Gul'dan. Reaver. Could be another option. Dread Infernal into Hooked Reaver. There you go, so Hooked Reaver being under 15 health. This is a 7/7. This is a huge creature. This is a huge board. And it may, in fact, warrant a Psychic Scream, but that's going to give Julian plenty of time to set up the Gul'dan.
Mind if I roll need?
What do we got over here? Carrion Drake. If a minion died, this turn gained poisons. I have never seen this card in my life. Alright, the Frost one's triggered. Hooked Reaver instead. Waiting so long to get this Gul'dan down. There's a Mountain Giant. Alright, 2 Psychic Screams down. This is the turn. And with both Psychic Screams down, maybe that's what he was aiming for. Trying to bait out both Psychic Screams so this board of 2 Vulgar Homuluses didn't get taken away. No Infernals or anything under that Gul'dan. And a big recovery here, but the most important thing, Julian has this hero power
Your magic
ready to go. And the silence on the Drake, taking it down to a 4/1, meaning the Infernal can clear it off. And finally, it's been a while, but Julian has started to get some face damage in. Both Spellstones though. Oof. Electing to go for face there. Curious choice. We'll see if he regrets it. Now with the taunt coming down. With the trade into the Mountain Giant. Especially with this second Spellbreaker up his sleeve. And a Black Knight. Gives him the potential to kind of out of nowhere maybe get in for some face damage. But from 26, and with the Amara in play, he may just be trying to tempt out that Amara. Oof. Gastropod here, probably going to get cleaned up by the hero power. Question is then, we trading with the Infernal? No. It's a very risky play here. A Shadow Word Death. Anything like that does put him on 1. But no, nothing of the sort. Instead, we got Twilight's Call. Bone Drake's going to be a good one. Give him some more resources. Could be big ones as well. Something like Ysera. Even Big Daddy Deathwing for later. Another Hooked Reaver. It's just Hooked Reaver o'clock. The Carrion Drake coming down. Warrants the silence. Get out of here. Doesn't want that poisonous trading in with his Hooked Reaver. Arthas the draw. He's going to check his options first. Oh my, Hellfire. Definitely a card that could mess with the math here. Thanks for that, Rod. I really appreciate it. We're just casting some games, first time. Had some pretty interesting ones as well. And the Hooked Reaver on the side of Glenn. So we've had Hooked Reavers played on both sides of the board. Oh, and the trade-off here. Interesting. Is it time for Amara? Oh, Alex Straza is the draw. may just try and go do something tricky here and bait Julian into extending a little bit more. Reset himself with Alexstrasza.
You are safe now.
Amara's coming down now. And presumably, the Black Knight will mean that there is only going to be one Amara in this game. Am I ready for Saturday? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Obliterate. Definitely got health to spare here. And the cube. Oh my, and the Carrion Drake coming down with poisonous. These Carrion Drakes proving useful. Proving to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Julian. Let's get a fatigue update. 7 cards left in the deck versus 19. Not a lot of resources there. Presumably some Mountain Giants as well, which could be some awkward draws. Very anemic Twilight Drakes coming out, but still in the game. Ooh, Hellfire. It's a good draw. And we just get the cube out. Put a big body on the board. Or is he going to think twice and go for the heal? No, too greedy, he decides. Spellstone combining with the hero power here. Make sure that this Shroom Brewer stays on board. It might be the time we just see Alexstrasza out as the body. Dread Infernal, great draw. Clears away the Shroom Brewer, creates a big body, gets the heal out. You're gonna need something special to trade into that. Mountain Giant, no! As we were saying before, the Mountain Giant being a very awkward draw, not able to play it. In fact, we may have a situation if both Mountain Giants are in the deck where they get to be at the point where they're unplayable. Interesting choice, going for the Twilight Drake and the heal here. As opposed to just slamming down Alexstrasza, getting some damage in. Maybe playing cautious. Too cautious, maybe. Those hero powers. Oh! The Mountain Giant from on Glenn's side. Oof, just going the heal here. This gives him the option next turn to actually play the Mountain Giant, but not much else. And what's Julian going to do with his? Is he going to deploy the Loot Hoarder? Of course. Now if Glenn chooses to play the Mountain Giant, he will end up losing the Infernal to either the hero power or the Loot Hoarder. Does go for the loot.
I'm almost out of cards.
Mountain Giant o'clock. Oh, and the Shadow of Death. Oh no, that could be GG. There's just a lot on the board right now.
I'm out of cards.
Right here, man. Mountain Giant. Going into fatigue with a Mountain Giant on board that presumably is not going to stay there for too much longer. And just a Dread Infernal in hand. Going for the draw here. Oh my gosh, Shadow Reaper Anduin. Phenomenal draw off the top. And I can imagine that Julian's going to be tapping out here. Let's kill his own Mountain Giant, but you're looking at Blood Reaver Gul'dan versus Shadow Reaper Anduin, with Anduin with 11 cards left in the deck, and he does tap out. GG. Excellent game. Excellent game there. Glad that we got to see the last half of that. We'll switch this over. Glenn with a victory on the Priest side. Down 2-1. Alright. So we're going to jump in and have a chat with Glenn. Glenn! You there?
Yes, hello.
Hey.
How are you going?
Very, very good. How do you feel about that last game?
Like a competitive deck could handle a competitive deck. It was still very close. I played the Benedictus way too early, and I just forgot that Ren was a card. But that's also because I'm not familiar with what Oddlock is actually running. I just knew that the one-off death in my deck was like essential to try and find early, because the Mountain Giants early really hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we did miss the first half of that game. How did the early game kind of shape up?
I think I was a bit confused because he played a lot of low-cost characters, the 2/4 with Taunt and the 2/3 that gives Taunt, and I essentially just used my Death Rattles to build up value, and then I stole the 6-cost 6/6 Demon each time with the little 1/1. I can't remember the names of the cards, but
the Crystalline Oracle.
Yeah, Crystalline Oracles.
Yep.
And then did you see when I played the
the Carrion Drake? One of the 2 Carrion Drakes that you got off Bone Drakes?
Carrion Drakes. Carrion Drakes they actually helped a lot. The poison offered a lot of threat, and so you had to expend cards.
Absolutely,
I think
that really
honestly,
is the name of the game when it comes to the that matchup. You know, you were really grinding out a lot of resources. Those Twilight's calls were fully loaded with value, and at the end of the day, he just didn't have enough cards in his deck to deal the final blow.
Yeah, I think definitely seeing the second Defile milled made me feel a lot more confident about going a bit wider than probably what I would certainly do.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of the flip side of our first game where he top decked the
Leroy
the Leroy for the win.
Yep.
So it felt good to get one back on the board.
Now you've got your Rogue and your Hunter left to get some wins with, and you know you're going to be up against this Warlock. What are you going to bring in the next game?
I think Rogue's my better shot. Oh, yeah, I think Rogue. I think mainly because I actually found that deck really fun to play, to be honest, more so than my best shot to win. I think Hunter could probably do enough damage. Okay,
interesting. Well, I'll let you get back to your own thoughts. Hopefully you can figure it out, and good luck in the next game.
No worries. Thank you so much.
No worries. Oh, there we go. Hearing from Glenn there. Doesn't sound particularly confident, but that is an interesting choice going with that rogue deck, the kind of steely rogue deck versus the odd hunter there. All right, we'll just get these players to start the game. We'll be back with the next one. All right, we are here with another game with this 1v1. Julian up against Glenn. In the bottom here, with a hand full of even cost cards, it's Julian. We get some hype in the chat. Julian up the top with the early start, slamming down that Firefly in the rogue coloured shorts. It's Glenn. No Mountain Giant here for the for Julian. It's one of the highest win rate cards for the deck. Slamming down that Mountain Giant on turn 3 or 4. Turn 3 on the coin. See if he wants to go for the tap to find it. No. Chooses instead Vulgar Homunculus. Great way at gumming down this early game. Let's take a look at this this hand. Both Vile Spines.
This guy's toast.
This is a very good hand if Julian's going to try and lean on one of those big threats, those big Mountain Giants, but instead doesn't have them. Goes for the Twilight Drake.
Job's done.
This is going to do a very good job at holding off the board. Oh my gosh, the Spectral Cutlass comes out, but with nothing to support it. Now, is he going to attack with the dagger first and play the Cutlass? No. Just going straight for the face. No value off the lifesteal there. And the Mountain Giant comes on turn 4, the turn that you want it, but we've already deployed a couple of threats. We can't play that just yet. Next turn, maybe. Sun Fury Protector here. Really gonna help stop the flow of bleeding. And all of a sudden, This board looks very well tied up. That great start there, but you know, not a lot of options. 2 Vile Spines. They're both great, but they don't give you any more options. They're just Vile Spines. That Valera doing nothing until turn 9. But now, Flame Elemental Vile Spine, that's going to do a good job getting back on the board. Vile Spine threatening to trade with the Twilight Drake. Oh, but the Swamp Ooze. That could be deadly. Maybe not this turn. This turn it is. Troublesome. That Acidic Swamp Ooze is a very, very common flex card. Now the Backstab Vile Spines. Seems like this is one of those games where Glenn is going to have to lean on Valera quite a lot as a value card. But with possibly the Big Daddy Dread Infernal coming down this turn, no, diversifies the board instead. Oof. Now we'll see here, does he go for the Sap Vile Spine, or instead does he try to take some damage here, resolve the Valera, and then start trying to turn the corner from there? Yes, he's just going to play this very aggressively by playing nothing. He's going to lean on that Valera.
You cannot.
Valera comes down. Battle Cry. Stealth until next turn means no attacking, no targeting with spells. And most importantly, the value tool, the Death Shadow. Potentially giving Glenn access to something like Sap Vile Spine. Very good way at clearing up this board. We could also see Sap Vile Spine, Shadow Step Vile Spine. Set the fan. Double Sap, no Vile Spine. Okay. That Deadly Poison might have been a bit of a misplay there. He may need something next turn to get the easy combo off for the Vile Spine. We'll see if that costs him. How's Julian going to play this? Develop more threats. Got a handful of them. Handful of bodies. His Gastropods. The new hotness the last couple of weeks in his Evenlock decks. And the Spectral Cutlass. Oh, jeez. So now, how tragic indeed. And that will be game. Unfortunate, this is just those last couple of turns after the Valera resolve being quite troublesome. Quite hard to navigate, so definitely don't, I wouldn't fault anyone for making the exact same moves. But that is GG. The game goes to Julian. He is the victor. 3-1. That was a good one though. Good to see some new decks. Some different decks out there. And we'll jump in and we'll have a chat with the winner. Actually, we might have a chat with both of them. Alright. Hello, you two. Julian, pulling it out there. How do you feel?
Feels pretty good. Starting off 2-0 kind of got me in a gave me some good mental momentum. Yeah, this priest was a little bit off-putting, but I managed to salvage it when I faced up against the Tempo Rogue.
And Glenn, there, those last couple of turns, you chose a really interesting and quite aggressive route, choosing to not deploy any of your threats before playing the Valera. But it seemed like afterwards you kind of just there's a lot of decisions you could make, and it didn't work out for you. What happened?
I thought I just figured I could draw better cards with Valera than to try and tempo play cards and get less value from them.
Yeah, it was interesting. The turn 10, I think I suspected that you would have gone for like the sap, either sap Vilespine, Shadow Step Vilespine, or sap Vilespine.
Yeah, I think I just mismathed. I think originally the line of play was definitely that. I think it was meant to be sap Vilespine, Shadow Step Vilespine, and then I think I just got too excited about some. I can't remember what other card I played, but I got really excited.
We all get really excited to Vilespine things, so I certainly don't fault you for that one.
No, I think the deck building is what let me down there, because I just drew all the top heavy stuff a bit too early in the round, and it's really hard to compete against handlock like that.
Absolutely. Now go for it.
Yeah, like I actually forgot about your Death Knight as your out, because like after I opened up my Vulgar Homunculus to backstab SI, I knew I could still catch up with the Drake, but when it was turn 6 and I had more cards, more minions on board, and I had 7 mana the next turn, I felt pretty confident. And I guess Valera was probably your main out, but not that I thought of it, because after you the way you played in game 1, I thought your deck was a bit lower to the ground. I didn't expect that you'd go all the way up to Valera.
Yeah, I think it's just I drew that first game. I drew well, and then you top decked, and I was like, "Oh, okay, like this is how this game goes." Welcome to Hearthstone. It just actually invoked classic Hearthstone. I just was like, "Yeah, this is how these games go," and it's great.
It was my only out, because when you played Edwin, I was thinking about what I could do, and I
stole from you. It was great.
Yeah, you got my Edwin, and I got the Blink Fox for the second Cold Blood, and that's when I thought, I think the only way I win this game is if I draw Leroy, because I can't compete with this Edwin. And then you Shadow Stepped in to make it even bigger, so that Cold Blood play kind of, like I just kind of went all in on the turn that I played double Cold Blood, and it just happened to pay off.
Yeah, that was sick. No, so I thought that first game was sick. I was like, very much both decks trying to kill the other opponent rather than fighting for board control was kind of exciting, and there were some interesting lines of play on both sides there. And like I said, you play to your outs and you got it. I was like, yep, Hearthstone at its best.
Yep, I think
it would have been a 1 in 17. I think I had 17 cards left in my library.
Definitely stream worthy, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, and your final draw of the game, drawing that spectral cutlass the turn after having played the deadly poison, was
the deadly poison,
the cherry on the cake for tonight. I think
I was like, that is just definitely, again, classic Hearthstone thing of like, oh, of course, the one time I need to. I don't know why I played the deadly poison. I think I had like a 10-minute to play the next turn, and so I was like, I
you
just
may as well
play this now.
Yeah,
I mean, you can save it for like a future combo down the line.
True.
Definitely.
Anyway, I want to thank you both for playing some games. I really appreciate it. There were some great games. We got to see some interesting decks. Got to see some very strong decks as well. But yeah, thanks for joining me.
No worries. Thanks for the games. Thanks, Julian.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. If you're watching it on YouTube, all the links will be down in the description. May even get a couple of deck lists off of these guys to post up. And you can catch me on Twitter. It's the best place to catch me, at TommyWave. Hit me up. And if you liked seeing this or you didn't like seeing this, let me know. Because, I enjoyed casting it. Whether I was good or not, that's up to you. But I definitely want to see it. I'm thinking about doing more of this in the future. So if you let me know that you like it or you don't like it, or that we can fix some things outside of, this terrible overlay. And that type of stuff. But If you let me know what you want to see, I can definitely do my best to fix things up and make it more enjoyable for you. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna head off now. That was really quick. I think we budgeted quite a lot more time for that. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with some more decks. So see you all then.